Hello there, my name is Kazakhstan, and once again we're talking about politics in Kazakhstan. Please subscribe to my channel for new updates and information on key policy issues in Central Asia and Kazakhstan. Today we're going to talk about a very important issue, is the national address of President Tokayev to the nation. It's very important in terms of the timing and the message. As you know, in Kazakhstan there was a tragic January events, tragic riot and failed coup attempt. So in this respect, President Tokayev in his annual address mentioned many and plethora of very significant topics related to the Kazakhstan development. But I would like to touch upon four main areas that I believe will shed a light on how Kazakhstan is going to develop in near future. So first of all, President Tokayev mentioned distribution of power. It's very important for Kazakhstan politics because before, for almost 30 years, we had so-called super presidential system. What does it mean? Super presidential system basically means that all major areas of power were around and designated to the president and ordered by the presidential decrees. Basically this logic was reasonable because of the in early independence days or in mid-independence days in early 2000s. But now the society has changed, and certainly the stagnation that happened in Kazakhstan for more like 5 and 6 years explains why the riot happened, and the main reason, one of the main initial reasons, were economic aspects and economic inequality. So basically super presidential system is going to change to a more balanced governance where parliament and senate, at the same time the self-governance in the regions are going to play a much more important role. So in this respect we are going to have a different political structure and a bigger role of the parliament and senate. Secondly, in terms of distribution of power, President Tokayev is no more a member of ruling party. This is very important. Why? Because for almost 30 years, the president of Kazakhstan was the chairman and the leading figure in the ruling party, Nur Otan, and currently Amanat party. It gave certain privileges to the main party to win the votes, to have a legitimacy in the eyes of the people, and certainly it didn't have a kind of real rivals among other parties. So in this respect, President Tokayev, but in his initiative, says that in order to have a more balanced and real competition among the parties, I need to be above the political struggle and give opportunity for other leaders from different sectors of society to voice up, and people will choose by themselves without any administrative support. So in this respect, I think it's very a bold move, and it's not easy to lose power, but I think it's very important for further democratization of Kazakhstan to have a much more objective elections. Important aspect is changes in constitution, specifically the transformation of constitutional council, where the main legislative body of Kazakhstan, where previously it had only opportunity for limited number of people, mainly in the establishment, to appeal their cases, but now it moved and changed to constitutional court, where ordinary citizens can appeal their claims and challenge any decree, any legislative decision on the regional level. So I think it's becoming much more open. It was very important. Constitutional body should be much more transparent and proactive. Important aspect is that main key strategic national projects, initiatives are going to be discussed in an inclusive format. Basically, NGOs, associations, political parties, opposition parties are going to be part of the decision-making process. Before, it was only the government, only the ruling party, only the people who were on the top of the government who are making the claims. But what we saw actually in the January event is that society has changed drastically. The social contract has changed drastically. So in this respect, decision-making body should be inclusive. We need to have a shared responsibility, much more balanced decision-making in order to avoid corruption, in order to avoid shadow agreements, and allow people to step up and create a new political culture. So I think distribution of power is one of the elements, and one of the prominent platforms will be Old Kurultai, which has a very strong national identity for Kazakh people, where traditionally Old Kurultai was area where the prominent leaders from different areas of Kazakhstan and from different sectors of political life and economic life were gathering together, created a joint decision, debated, discussed it, and then stepped up for a decision-making process. So Oltu Kurultay will be very much important. Another issue is that President Tokayev's relatives will not take any leading position in the government and national in the national companies. So I think it's maybe a symbolic statement, but stemming from what we had before, and this corruption allegations, this arrests of the top leadership in Kazakhstan gives us a very different angle how political leadership should act. And by the example of President Tokayev, I think it's very important for other leaders in the Kazakh politics to take some real examples to pay attention more to the meritocracy and avoid this clan-oriented politics. Secondly, when we're talking about distribution of power, it's logical to speak about stronger parliament. President Tokayev, in his annual address, actually mentioned about a new structure that will appear in the parliament. Basically, he was speaking about mixed system comprised of proportional and majoritarian voting, where 70% of parliamentarians are going to be elected by the party list and 30% are going to be elected by the single mandate constituencies. Basically, what does it mean? It means that individuals who are not party members can be elected and run for the parliament. And I think it's a very important step towards inclusivity and democratization. We see a simplification of party registration procedure. Before, the party creation threshold was 20,000 people. Now, in order to create a party, you need 5,000 members. So it's a very drastic change. For those parties, created parties, they only have to have 200 members in the regions. Before, it was a mandatory number of 600. In this respect, I think it's the new numbers speak for themselves, and it will be easier for parties to be present in the region and to be active. And at the same time, as President Tokayev cannot be the member of any party, the mayors of cities cannot be members of parties as well. And it will allow much more objective electoral process and will not give any administrative superiority for any party. So I think it's also another very important electoral step towards much more objective and just electoral process. And we will have a different format of voting, the gradual expansion of alternative voting system. We will have an electronic database of voters, and I think it's going to be much more transparent in this respect, and they will see much more accountability of voting. And certainly there will be a limit for donations to the party by individuals in order to avoid lobbying or different kind of results based on the income. I think it's a very important approach to strengthen the parliament, to improve the conditions for party creation, to improve the competition among the parties, to increase the activity in the political life, and to have much more objective and just electoral process that will certainly instill and empower new political leaders, new political minds, new voices to step up and provide their opinion and their vision how to develop Kazakhstan. The third point of the annual address, and I think it's very important aspect as well, is self-governance. I think it's a very important process for Kazakhstan, which was under this kind of super presidential system for a long time, where the president was only the authority who was appointing mayors to different cities on the city, district and rural area level towns. So in this respect, mayors on the district and rural areas level are going to be elected by the citizens of those constituencies. President Tokayev will no longer have a power to appoint people according to his decision. So in this respect, it's going to be 50% proportional, 50% majoritarian. So it means that any party and people from individual candidates can apply to be, and run for the main posts in the rural and town level areas. It's important to emphasize that President Tokayev will have an opportunity to appoint mayors to the cities, major cities and the cities of the Republican level, but with consent of Maslihat. Maslihat mainly is a so-called mini parliament within the city municipality, and Maslahat will have their own say who to appoint and who not, and President Tokayev will have to adopt their decision during the appointment of the new mayor. So basically, President Tokayev is distributing power to the city municipality and their opinion leaders as well. So we will have much more inclusive approach in appointment, and it's very important that people and candidates who are going to run for the posts of the mayor, even in big cities, will have much more bigger accountability and responsibility before the eyes of the citizens of that city. So in this respect, I think it's a very important link to share responsibility and create a new type of political culture. So finally, I would like to say that Kazakhstan certainly has entered to the new era. Hopefully it's going to be new Kazakhstan. Certainly the proposed initiatives are very important, but implementation, as we know, is much more important than the proposed ideas. So in this respect, we hopefully, the ordinary citizen of Kazakhstan, we can count on these initiatives, which are unprecedented, but certainly it's very important to monitor, evaluate, and have our own say in the decision-making and policy implementation process, because implementation and the main aspect of the result of these policy ideas. Thank you very much, and hope to see you again.